Hello, it's Angelica Jackson, the Chief Executive Officer and founder of Strata, the Chief Caretaker, the Chief Cheerleader, the Chief Lover and Fighter, Angelica. So glad to be here with you at this time. We have, for the month of July, been bringing in wellness speakers to really uplift, to refresh, and to reset, and to renew members of the Strata community. And I am going to close out our July Wellness Speaker Series with an intimate conversation, just you and me. You'll expect to learn more about Strata, learn more about myself, personal questions, why I'm here today leading this tech company and bringing it to you all. We're just going to talk. I have some questions that I'll answer, so if you see me refer to my phone, I'm looking down at the questions that folks have asked me personally and that I just think is good for y'all to know. So we're going to get into it. First of all, what's Strata? Strata is a care coordination and lifestyle management platform, which basically means it is a productivity tool that really combines automation, predictive analytics to ensure that you yourself are taking care of you, your wellness. While it is a productivity tool like a calendar or a scheduler, our tech on the back end actually allows you to ensure that you save time for self-care. You save time for me time. And in addition to that, while we are reserving me time on your work calendar or your personal calendar, we're also ensuring that some of those tedious and logistic type responsibilities are taken care of, or that your caretaking responsibilities are taken care of, like elder care, like your child care, so that all you have to do is show up for yourself. Everything else around you is taken care of. So that is Strata. Right now, we are currently building our community. We're leveling up on you. We're getting to know you. You're getting to know us. And we will be launching our platform so soon for you to use and to integrate into your lifestyle and into your lives, so that you will be able to easily and seamlessly prioritize yourself and your health and your wealth. So that's Strata. Okay, y'all, are y'all ready to get into it? Okay, first of all, let me just say, I am calling in. I'm live. I am live from the Washington, D.C. metro area. So if you are in the DMV, that's what we know it as down here, which is D.C., Maryland, or Virginia, stand up, give me a shout, say hello, write a comment, holla at your girl. This is my hometown. I was born, raised in Maryland. However, I have traveled all over the East Coast. So most recently I was living in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Philly, all of my Philly fam that's on. Hello, I love y'all. Before that, I also lived in Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn, stand up. I love Brooklyn. I'm coming back to you one day. One day I'm coming back. I've been in Virginia. I've been in New Jersey, Georgia, just all over the East Coast. Why? Because my career. So prior to starting Strata, I was working as an actress, primarily musical theater. I do like to sing. I may sing for y'all at the end of this if you stay tuned. And a lot of acting, and I was just on stages across the East Coast. And I will say that is certainly my first love as far as my career. I love being able to tell stories and that really move people and uplift people to change. I love using the arts to really motivate positivity, to motivate human connection. And so, yeah, that was I will say, my first career in a sense. However, alongside that, I've had a very robust career in education and nonprofit management, leading the operations and programs of nonprofits in Philly and this area in New York City, and really just pushing forward this lens of uplifting folks. I will say it's probably my life's purpose to bring out the strengths of people, to really, when I say chief cheerleader, to really be an encourager and motivator for people to live out their dreams, for people to reach their greatest potential, and no matter what field they're in, for youth, for adults, for babies, for anyone. That I would say that is probably my life's personal purpose. Why Strata? Right? First, let me just say, what is Strata? Because folks have been like, what does Strata even mean? How do you say it? Is it Strata? Is it Strata? Is it Strata? It is Strata. That's how I say it. But you can say it how, you know, however it flows off your tongue. But really, it's short for stratosphere. And when I think about caregiving, when I think about parenthood, I think about the stratosphere of care that it takes in order to really live out this life as a caregiver. It is a dynamic journey to be a caregiver. It is cyclical. It is interdependent. It is an ever-changing journey. And I think that stratosphere really encompasses and encapsulates all of those, I guess, characteristics. And so when we think about the company that we're building and the impact that we are making, not just in America, but on a global scale, it is really to build and grow this stratosphere of care for those who need it most, for those who tend to have less access to quality care, for those who have cultural pressures to be super person, to be always on it, to always be there, either as a friend, as a partner, as a caregiver, as a lover, as a person. For the people who are living in the pockets of our global world and are suffering from anxiety, from depression, from feeling isolated, from lack of community, this Strata is for you. And you can be on any spectrum, you know, experiencing those. It could be just for a moment, a season. It could be something that you have been working with for several years. It could be that you have had your journey and you are living in your testimony and your victory, but you still need something to keep you going. Strata is for you. Strata is for new caregivers, right? When your life suddenly changes and your priorities change real quick and you have to pick up and move the city that you love and go back to get connected to your roots, or go back and get connected to your family for support. Hey, I can relate to that story. I was living in Brooklyn, New York, living the dream, living my life, and I got pregnant, and I realized quickly that my life was just suddenly going to change, and I needed to be connected back to those who mattered most. When you become a parent, in my opinion, or just a caregiver in general, perhaps to an aging loved one, your priorities quickly shift. And I've heard several stories just in this last 6 months while myself, everyone has been living and experiencing the coronavirus pandemic. We're realizing that priorities change real quick. We also realize or just reckon with our access to support, our access to community, our access to that stratosphere of care, and if it is available to us or not. So anyway, we're not going to start off the show with me on my soapbox. But I just wanted to share, you know, the origin of Strata. I wanted to share what Strata means, and so now you know it means that we are building this stratosphere of care. The vision for Strata is that it is not just one product. We are meeting folks, we're meeting you where you are to be able to provide you with the services and the products that you need to really live a seamless life. And I'm living as a millennial. I'm living as a millennial parent, and I know that for us specifically, for millennials specifically, Strata's for everybody, but for millennials specifically, we have endured so many travesties. I mean, y'all can type in the chat and in the comments and list them out. I'm not even gonna list them because we know. I will say that a lot of times when talking to millennials, we are, particularly millennial women, we're the primary breadwinners in our home. We are, or I'll just say our income, provides the most support in the home. We are carrying barrels of student loan debt. We are also carrying a lot of the responsibilities in the home in terms of caring for our child or caring for an aging loved one, which the term that we use is like the sandwich generation, those who are sandwiched between caring for their parent or their grandparent or their family member with a chronic or debilitating disease while caring for a little one, whether it is a niece or a cousin or their own child or whoever. And those pressures are real. I'm gonna just throw some stats out to you. At the base level, 20 million Americans are caregivers. 1 in 5 employees specifically are caregivers. 1 in 5 US employees are caregivers. There's likely going to be about 8 million babies born within the next year in America alone. And, 4 million. And so if we assume they have 2 parents, that's 8 million parents. Okay, the pressures and the challenges that caregivers experience are huge. There's a lot of us out here and we're all floating trying to make it work, right? We're all trying to make it work. And we are. And Strata is here for you. Strata is here for us. Strata is here for me. All right, so let's get to these questions. I talked about where I'm from. DC, stand up. Maryland, stand up. I'm from Maryland. But, DMV, stand up. How did I get started? So this is for folks who are joining in and perhaps want to start a tech company or perhaps want to just start a business in general. Could be, be a nail tech. You could be doing brows, selling lashes, selling bundles. I'm speaking to those who know what I'm saying. I'm speaking to you for that one. It could be perhaps starting a tutoring company during this time where most people are going to be schooling from home. It could be any business. I always start with people. And I recently did a workshop on starting a tech company. That was back in March, I believe. And so some of this, what I'm going to say is going to sound familiar if you join that workshop. But I always start with people. What do the people around you need? What are you hearing on the streets, on the grounds? What are the challenges that folks experience? How severe is that challenge? Does it require a speaker that I heard in the tech ecosystem described this so well, and I love it. I'm gonna paraphrase, but essentially they said the problem you're solving, could it be solved by taking a vitamin, or does it need to be solved by taking a painkiller? Which one is more severe? A vitamin is I'll take it if I remember, if I have it in the house, I'll take a vitamin. But if I run out, I'm not rushing to go. I'm not rushing to go get new vitamins. Or is it a painkiller? I am so much in pain, I have to have this painkiller here. I have to take this pill or whatever it may be because I am so sore. I can't. So the problem that you're solving or what you're hearing from the people around you or the affected community that you want to provide a solution for, how severe is their problem? For Strata and for the research that I conducted, one story in particular, I did several interviews. I had over 100 interviews with, and by interviews, I mean just conversations with millennial caregivers. They were parents, men, women, gender non-conforming, caregivers, so not just parents, but caregivers, just caretakers in general, those who assumed custody of family members. One story in particular said that she had 2 strokes before she realized that she needed to take care of herself. 2 strokes. She was a mom, a wife, a mom of 2 children, young children. And she said that she didn't after her first stroke, she just thought she was down for the count. And then she had a more severe stroke that took her to the hospital. And it was at that point that she realized that she needed to seek therapy. It was at that point that she realized that she needed to take care of herself, that she needed to prioritize herself, to give herself time, to be gracious with herself. And I just thought, this is ridiculous. That story that she shared was not in isolation. In fact, I will say maybe about 5 months later, I was talking to a gentleman in the tech ecosystem in New York, and I shared that story about this woman who had 2 strokes, and he said he was almost in tears because he said that he had recently suffered a stroke for the same reasons: pressures of caregiving, pressures of being in relationship and trying to hold it down. And I was just like, this is crazy. Folks are literally dying to take care of people and neglecting the care that they need to show themselves. And so that was, these are some of the stories that I heard on the ground when I was talking to people, asking open-ended questions about who they are, about, you know, what their lives are like, their day-to-day, about their experiences, about, you know, perhaps what in their lives could be automated, could be streamlined, could be more seamless so that they can prioritize themselves. Folks said they felt like they lost their identity after becoming a caregiver. They feel like they are just out here just trying to make it work, floating, trying to figure it out as they go. They felt like they are no longer doing the things that make them happy, that, you know, once they become a caregiver, or that they don't even know what makes them happy, what brings them joy anymore. And so these are the challenges and experiences that Strata is working to impact in a positive way. So start with people, right? So that's really how Strata started. I started doing those interviews, and then I joined a tech incubator that is specific to Black and brown female founders, and that was super fun. I met some really extremely amazing, talented, loving, caring, down to earth, ride or die women. I mean, you know, just some beautiful people who are also on the founder journey, who have started companies and are starting new companies, or, you know, this is their first hurrah in tech. And that was such a meaningful experience for me, and really where I was able to build out what Strata looks like today and what it will grow and build to be. On the journey, I've brought on some folks into Strata's team. I have acquired and assembled some amazing advisors that represent several facets of business, of tech specifically, of management and just founder journey experiences. So Strata has a really cool team. I've worked with folks all over the world, literally, to bring some really cool, I'm not gonna drop any gems just yet, but some really cool and exciting services and products to the fore in the coming months. Okay, so I talked about the vision for the company. I talked about what Strata looks like on a global scale. I have talked about why I got started. It really was after becoming a parent. I now have a 3-year-old, but after becoming a parent to my little Phoenix, her name, I had my own bout of just like WTF moment. What is life? How is life work? How does life work now that I'm a mom and also very ambitious and also feel the pressure to be high achieving? And I now have this little one that is relying on me for any and everything. I nursed for 13 months. So, you know, just that connection, nursing, Phoenix, I did not put Phoenix. I had the privilege of not needing to put Phoenix in daycare while she was an infant. So it was a privilege and also a responsibility. And I was also a student in grad school at the time, in addition to working full-time, and just all the things, millennials. Okay, I already talked about us, all the things. And I realized, you know, my body had changed. My mental and emotional state had changed. My relationships were changing with folks. I felt a lot of the things that literally over 50 million Americans feel when it comes to parenthood and caregiving, which is those feelings of isolation. I felt so alone, especially at that time. I was also, in addition to working full-time, I was also still acting. And the entertainment community is not too friendly to parents. It is not. You know, things are changing, and there's some really cool organizations. One, the Parent Artist Advocacy League. There's just some really cool organizations that are moving toward being more inclusive of parent artists. But it's a struggle. And then on top of that, you know, so many intersectionalities of my identity, being a woman, being a Black woman, being a mom, Black mom, just so many intersections of who I am, figuring out my relationships, that sort of thing. And so I also, you know, felt those, I felt this need for, okay, I need to take care of myself. I don't know how to do it. I don't know when I have the time. I don't know where I can go. I don't know how I can get help. So yeah, and that is really, you know, the origin of Strata, on my origin story. Okay, so what else, what other questions do we have? Let's see. What have been some of the challenges that I've experienced? So certainly being a solopreneur is a challenge, okay, because which I'm sure you can imagine. Perhaps while I do, like I said, I have assembled some amazing advisors. I've worked with folks in so many different capacities all over the world. As a solopreneur, you hold the weight, the mission and vision of the company. I'm saying you, but really me. I, as a solopreneur, hold the weight of the company and its progress. I can pay people to also hold the weight of the company and hold the mission and vision dear to their heart, and to contribute to the company in a meaningful way. But you know that there's a transaction there. However, when it comes to really ensuring that the mission of Strata is moved forward, that we really do make a positive change and difference in folks' lives, really does, it's really held within me and the story that I tell about Strata. And so that responsibility is one that I hold so dear because of the people that I spoke to, that I know who would benefit from Strata, who would really change their lives around because of Strata. It also means that, again, I said, you know, there's a transaction, you have to pay people. So there's that responsibility that is also at this time placed on me. And there are just so many different aspects to building a business. You know, there is what you see on the front end, so like, you know, just our community engagement, whether through social, through emails, through just me, you know, and when I share about Strata. And then there's the back end of the work, right? That's actually the research, the development, the product development, that is the testing, the iterating, the drawing, the sketching, the managing people, building strategy, all of those things, meeting folks, shaking hands, giving hugs, sharing progress reports. So it's a lot to be a solopreneur. Again, just as, you know, with Strata, we believe in this stratosphere of care. Same thing goes as far as building a company. It takes a village. It takes a stratosphere of folks to really make this business grow. And so I am so appreciative of everyone, especially you. I'm so appreciative of everyone who has encouraged me, who has showed up to events, who, you know, some pitch events. I had some old friends show up to that, and it just warms my heart. Folks who are texting me and sending me messages, and, you know, they say behind every bad mamma jamma, there's a group of women and men behind them lifting them up, or there's a group of women in your phone pumping you up and encouraging you and rooting for you. And that is so true. So while I am a solopreneur, I am so fortunate to have a crew of folks who are explicitly and silently cheering for me and pushing me forward, praying for me, whispering wonderful thoughts and positive vibes and energy my way. And so I am so thankful for those folks. What else do we have? Write some questions and thoughts in the comments. The next question that we have is, okay, tell us about Phoenix. Cool. So Phoenix is my daughter. She's 3. She's amazing. She is just she has the best personality. She's so loving and caring herself. And one of how, you know, when I think about how I have been building Strata with a little one, it's another challenge, but it is exciting. It is. And worth it. The challenge is worth it. I call her sometimes I call her my executive assistant. Sometimes she's my boss and she's running the show. But the example that I believe that I am setting for her, as someone who is following their dreams, someone who believes that it is important to give and to really take care of others, but by first taking care of yourself, is a powerful example and model that I believe I am representing and showing to Phoenix. And so sometimes she tells me that she has a meeting and that she can't get hugs right now. And so I do recognize I do recognize some of the direct quotes that she takes from me. And I also recognize the importance of advocating for yourself. If you are familiar with 3-year-olds, they will tell you no with the quickness. They will tell you no with the quickness. And you know, there's just so much that I can learn from that. There's so much that I can learn from her by sometimes having to say no, by sometimes having to say, that's enough, mommy, that's enough, not right now, that's enough. And by also remembering to some of the qualities and characteristics that I preach to her and I hear her say back to me, they're just sweet reminders. Mommy, be patient. Mommy, that's not nice. We can learn so much from the little ones. Thank you all so much for joining me today for my YouTube live to get to know moi, Angelica Jackson, the chief caretaker, chief lover and fighter, chief executive officer and founder of Strata. We are building your stratosphere of care. We take care of you as caregivers and caretakers. Thank you for joining. Please follow us on social @join Strata on Twitter and Instagram. And you can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on Facebook, all the things. And reach out. Please, you can reach out to me. I will write you back. It's not a bot. I do like bots, but it's not a bot. It's me. Thank you so much. This was so meaningful for me. If you've been tuning in all of July, as we really set folks up to refresh and to reset, to get that R&R, moving into the heat wave that August will bring, and then moving into fall and winter. Thank you. It means a lot to me. And I will take your kindness and your words and your encouragement with me along this journey, along our journey, because we're gonna be doing this together. Now I'm gonna be hollering at you, and you can holler at me, and we'll work this out. But I just want to say thank you for watching. We have some wonderful R&R content coming up for August. We hope to bring in some really cool special guests and experts that will be speaking again more on wellness, more on self-care, more on just caregiving in general. We'll have some fun folks who will just be chatting, and we'll continue to have some intimate conversations around building a stratosphere of care for yourself. This is the time. Don't wait. This is the time to ensure that you are prioritizing yourself, to ensure that you are living your best life, and that you have strategies to live your best life even when you're in survival mode, even when things aren't right, when you're feeling all of the pressure on the world on you. We are ensuring that you can take care of yourself first. So tag along with us on this journey. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm Angelica Jackson, and I look forward to meeting you.